Good morning, everybody. Get my glasses. Screen good. I'm gonna get some lubage on my lips here. Nobody else called it that, probably. That's definitely a word from my dad. Lubage. An auto mechanic word. Who's here live? Say hello. Tell me where you're at, where you're tuning in from. Want to know. I know that it takes a few minutes for it to pop up on everybody's stuff. Super excited. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to teach a class in here. Super, super excited. Again, if you're here live, Christy's here, Ashley's here. You both in Utah? I think you're both in Utah. Well, look, your neighbors, sort of. Clarkston and Payson. So good to have you ladies here. So good. I'm really excited for this class. Samantha's here. Ooh, we're going to meet later, aren't we? Man. I may have to go get a drink. Guys, this class is probably going to blow your socks off. So I was writing my final notes this morning, my meditation, and I'm like, hey, this class has the power to freaking change your life. So I want to really encourage you to get settled. Like, have a notebook ready. Have the notes section on your phone. If you're driving, you may want to pull over. Marcy's here. Marcy, what have you got for us today? All the good things. Always good things on my classes, Marcy. Always. You're going to want to be here. So get your notebooks out. Get ready to have your minds just blown. So I posted yesterday about when we feel stuck. And when we feel like years and years are going by and things that are really important to us aren't happening still. And you might have seen posts by my team. They talked about other ways of feeling stuck. Sometimes you're like, I really want to be the mom that stops yelling. I just really want to feel like we have a financial cushion. I just really finally want to lose that 20 pounds that I've held on to after that one baby or that one life crisis. I would really love to feel more emotionally intimate with my spouse. I would really love these different things, right? We have these wants that we really are like, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to change this. And yet some of us are in our 30s and 40s and we're going, why am I still wanting this? How is this not happening? I really wanted this to happen. I wanted my book to be a bestseller. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to publish a blog. I wanted to start a podcast. I really wanted to start that walking group with friends. And here I am a year later, the good weather is ending, and I still never did that. I never ran that 5K. Right? We find ourselves in these little cycles in our mind. You find yourself in the same spot year after year, coming up on the holidays, wondering what your goals are going to be in the new year. You're like, why are my goals always the same? Like, guys, tell me what, like, if this is something that you've experienced where you're like, I just want to feel like I'm moving forward. I just really want to feel that I have made progress, that I'm making a difference, either for yourself, the world, whatever. You have felt this. The women that are in this group, this Elevated Mother Collective, people don't join this group that do not value progress. So I know that you ladies feel this, or you would not be in proximity with people that talk about goals, people that talk about aspirations. So yes, thank you, Christy. Thank you for your honesty. That you do feel like, man, I really just want to make a difference this way, and I'm not seeing it. I do feel stuck. Maybe you have a lack of self-belief. Every time you try to do something, you chicken out. Maybe you don't even start because you chicken out. Or you think it's going to be so hard. Or you have ideas like, well, my husband won't support me. So then we're going to talk about this. We're going to unpack this. We're going to unpack all of this. This is so good. Guys, I remember in 2018, and this is when it spurred me on to figure stuff out, right? In 2018, so this was, oh my gosh, guys, 6 years ago. But Facebook Memories popped up a thing from 2014 that I had put this whole post out. I wrote a whole blog post about it back when I used to do a blog, and it was about goals. And I'm like, I'm going to reach these goals. You guys are going to watch me reach these goals. But here's the thing. Accountability is important. And I did reach a lot of those goals in part. But what I realized in 2018, 4 years after I'd made that post, is I was still in part. And I'm like, that's 4 years ago. That's a long time. 4 years? Like 4 years. And I was still at the, as much as I had accomplished in 2014 was like still my story. 2014 was a huge year for me. Yet I was in 2018 going, what's going on? Like sometimes Facebook memories are so great, and sometimes they remind you of that you're still like that. And you're like, this is not cool. For me, it's not cool. And like I said, I know this group. And so I know that it's not cool for you too. You're like, dang, I'm still 20 pounds overweight. I said I was going to lose that weight 2 years ago. What is happening? Oh, it's hormones. So when I got honest with myself, and we're going to talk about honesty today, but when I got honest with myself, I knew that I had gotten distracted and I had not stayed focused. And I sat with that and I'm like, but is that okay though? I have a whole chat book series and Facebook, posts that I had printed off. Like, weren't all those memories important too? Wasn't, taking care of my daughter when she got in that accident important too? Wasn't all those moments worth letting this goal slip? Yes, like Marcy says, something more important comes up. Does that ever feel like somebody? And so you sit in this place. I may have to go. I'm going to text my husband, bring me a drink of water. Let's see if he will do it. He's probably no, he's out doing the yard. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's unpack what's happening with this, because reaching your goals is really important. It really is on so many levels. And this idea that things that are more important keep coming up is also a pattern of certain things I'm going to break down for you today. Like I said, get a notebook out. It's going to blow your drawers off. Like, this is going to be a class that you will come back and probably need to watch again, because I'll propose an idea and your brain is going to blow and you're going to have to be like, what? Your brain's going to be like, that's a new idea to me that I'm not sure about. And so you probably won't hear what I say for the next 3 or 4 minutes. So come back and watch this again, because it's going to be awesome. So like I said, change location if you need to, get your notebook, stop the car. Okay. So when you get distracted, when you lose focus, when you are feeling guilty, oh, I started that watercolor class. Oh, I'm writing my book, putting off my kids. Oh, went to the gym and morning commute was so stressful. Feeling guilty that I put my goals as a priority. Anybody felt that? Okay. Tell me in the chat, ladies. You guys are awesome. Getting honest is where it all starts. Okay. So you feel guilt. Have you ever felt disappointed in yourself? Like, I said this. I bought the Peloton, bought the treadmill. You feel guilt then that you didn't do anything with it. Maybe you even invested in a course and you didn't do it. So much disappointment and guilt. Sometimes you think you're not enough. I just don't have the fortitude for this kind of criticism. I will never be a great artist because I can't handle criticism. I will never be a teacher. I can't handle the schedule. We start thinking we're not enough. I just don't have this skill. I just don't have this aura. I'm just not like her. I just don't have support like that. My kids have all of these needs, so I can't. I started thinking we actually aren't enough for the dream that we had. Anybody thought of that one? Experienced it. And so begins the stuck cycle. And anything else that you guys feel, put them in the chat. Other feelings I didn't touch on that you're like, yeah, and I felt that too, or this, or this, or this, or this. Put them in the chat. The feelings you felt when you come around to the idea or the remembrance that you didn't do that goal. You didn't stay disciplined, you weren't focused, whatever. And while you might justify that this option was more important, this fell into my lap. Of course I did that. What feelings do you have that maybe I didn't mention? I'd like to see them in the chat. And I know you guys are all sitting down and you're focused because, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. Really though, if you're listening to this and you've kind of gotten off, like, come back to me because I'm about to drop point number 1 of 3. And each of these points has quite a bit in it, so leave room. It's not just going to be 1, 2, 3. I mean, maybe it is for you. Maybe you're really good at making concise notes, but I'm not. I typed up these notes in 10-point font and it was over a page. If I was taking notes, it would be like all over. Okay, so here we go. When you set good intentions and you made goals and you made a plan for a dream, right? You were in faith mode. If you've never put that together, now is the time. If you thought I'm going to lose weight, then you had faith in something unseen. You saw it in your mind that you were going to be a different size. You were going to see a different number on the scale. Do you see this? Anytime you put effort to something that is not real today, that is faith. So if you set an intention, a goal, a dream, an idea, and you actually made a plan for it, you were in faith mode. You were in faith. No one sets an intention for something that's already true for them. Do you see? You literally were acting in faith by saying, I will do different, be different, see different. You believed in something unseen. Are we all on that? Yes? You can see that is faith. You were acting in faith by even setting an intention or a goal for something to be different. It's a beautiful thing. You saw something unseen and determined that it could be in reality for you. Beautiful. You saw, and sometimes people set like a money goal or a book goal or a weight goal or whatever your goal is, relationship goal. And here's the thing. The way that you are seeing the world is completely unique to you. It is. Based on everything that's gone on since 8 weeks in your mama's belly, your brain has been recording things and creating ideas. And your perception of what is happening is your very own. It is your own. So if you see, oh, that girl can make $100,000 a year. That's amazing. Look, she's confident. And you name these things that she's got. Here's what's very interesting that I want you to note. Everything that we are seeing in reality, in the physical world, is being reflected back to us on what our reality understands. This is why a young child will a lot of times not understand when someone is being rude, mean, or even kind. They won't get that the first go around, the first few times, because they have never in their reality had that experience. And so they don't even see it. Okay. This is real life stuff. For example, I recently stayed at a 5-star resort, and I have actually never stayed at one like that. I have stayed at resorts in a different country, but in America, it's very different. It's very, very celebrity. And this was it just last week? It was just last week. I pull up to this 5-star resort and I'm like, where's the parking lot? Where's the parking lot? 5-star celebrity resorts in the United States many times are valet only. I didn't even see that because I had never seen it in my reality. So I pull up to this hotel and all these men are like around my car and I'm like, and then it clicked. I'm like, oh, I bet it's valet. That's why I didn't see a parking lot. That's why these guys want to like take all my stuff. I'm not being mugged here. Roll down the window and the guy's like, can we help you? Clearly he did not think I was staying there because of the way I was acting. And I'm like, I'm actually checking in. He's like, you're checking in? And immediately all the guys were like, where's your luggage? Where's your stuff? We will get you to your room. Like they took my keys. Like it was like, they were not having it that I would take my suitcase in that hotel. And they were not having it that I would not know my way. They provided me with it was just amazing. But I was caught off guard while other people would have expected it and appreciated it. Like, I was like, what? So this happens. Now that I've had that experience, it will forever be something that I will be able to have reflected back to me. Like, oh, when I pull up to a hotel and there's a line of men standing there in blazers with their arms behind their back, I will now know this is what's happening, or at least I'll have an idea about it. So everything, if you've seen something in someone else's life, the reason I'm pointing this out is if you can see, oh, she's got that and she's got this and she's so confident. If you can see it in someone else, the capacity for it is already within you. If you can see a truth from someone else, it can also be true for you. Okay? Our whole life, we're having a mirror experience from early on. If you've ever smiled at a brand new baby, the mirror neurons are creating what they then will create for themselves. They see mommy smiling like this, and the baby all of a sudden starts to do it. Mirror neurons. It's biological, you guys. This is not a theory. Like your whole existence is stuff being reflected to you on what you think. That's why when people are like, how did you do that, Robin? How did you build a multi-6-figure business in 2 years? You go, don't ask me what I did. Ask me what I was thinking. Like, so you had faith. You saw something unseen. And I just want to make this point that if you see anything that you don't have, but you can recognize it with other people, you have the capacity to do it. You totally do. Like right now, my 5-star experience was a new one, but from now on, I can't not have that experience again if I choose it. It's so interesting. This is so interesting. So you determine what is true for you. You acted in faith. So when you became distracted, that put you in the stuck cycle, you fell out of faith. in this. You went into fear, you found comfort in old patterns that you already knew, things you know, you came back to reactivity mode, where you simply react to life in ways that you already know. That's the first thing that will always happen when somebody gets into being in a stuck cycle. They drop out of faith and they start living in their little reality bubble, their little comfort zone. So even if something more important comes up, things don't work out, things are uncomfortable, things are new, and you think, oh, but this was so important. Something about that reflected to you that this was comfortable, this was more doable, this is what we're doing now. It's always something in that realm that you came back to reactivity where you can react to life and be confident. See, like when my daughter had her accident last year, that could have totally derailed my goals at that time. It was a big deal. She broke her arm and a leg. It was, we were out of state. However, I was able to look at that situation and go, oh, it was going to happen anyway. And I stayed neutral. So one of the reasons that this is our first, like I said, there's a lot of stuff here, but a lot of people want to get unstuck. A lot of people want to get past this and not have this be their experience. So if you're listening to this, you have all the things in this call that you are going to now know that you can't unknow. When we get distracted and move back into fear, it's usually because we judged ourselves. All of those things we listed before, when we feel guilty, when we feel not enough, we have judged. That's the only reason people fall out of faith, is a self-judgment. Somewhere along the way, you felt uncomfortable and you judged it. See, I can't go to the gym at 5. My family can't function without me in the morning. See, I'm still so tired, even though I took that supplement for 3 days. See, I'll never change. See, I can't stop yelling. It's just who I am and I hate it. Also known as, I hate myself. Hot tip here, friends. Hate and fear also require faith. See, I told you. If you have faith in yourself a year from now that says, I'm still a yeller, you still had faith in something that is unseen. If you see yourself continuing to overeat and being overweight next year, you had faith in that. That version wasn't guaranteed either. The moment you judged yourself and decided that that judgment was real, you put faith in that idea. You can put faith in fear and bring about your fears, or you can put faith in God and thereby bring about miracles of change in your life. Okay, so here's the conclusion of point 1. You judge yourself and put faith in your fears is what's happening. That's when you fall out of faith and you stop going on your goals. The skill then is to not judge. Stay in neutrality about what happens when you're shifting your story. Stay in faith. Put faith in your very real capacity to change. Whatever you see is possible for you. You can change your story. God's love is unconditional for you and your desires. Trust the unseen versions. So the second point, this is on to number 2. If you guys ever have questions, like put them in the chat. Or thoughts, or if your brain goes, let us know. What are the thoughts and ideas that are blowing your mind, or something that's new, something you haven't thought about? Put them in the chat. Writing things down makes it stay in your brain. Okay, so second point, we now know why we get stuck. But when we are stuck and we have judged ourselves and we've put faith in our fears, you cycle around and around as a victim to your circumstances, right? Because now you've put faith in your circumstance. Well, I have too many kids. Well, I'm too fat for that. Well, I don't have the energy for that. Well, my husband's not supportive like that. Like, we don't have the money for that. Those kinds of statements, like you always say, when you are in this victim mode, that you are a victim to your circumstances, you will say, our money is tight all the time. I can't invest while my kids need braces. I wish I could get a new pair of shoes, but I'll wait till they have holes. My kids never sleep, so I will always be a zombie. This is like, you were totally putting faith in your circumstances. You are literally bound. This is victim mentality. This is a totally closed-minded scarcity mentality. And when we live in this space for a long time, and I know it well because I lived there for 25 years of my life, we get used to being dishonest. And that's the truth, my friends. We get really used to being dishonest. Thank you for sharing your thought, Christy. You've never thought of this before. I'm giving you new ideas. We get real used to being dishonest. And what I mean by that, we might say, oh, the budget is so tight to one friend or family member, and then we go book a cruise with another friend. Think about it. It's not just circumstantial. The words you said is our money is so tight, yet you go do something that requires a large sum of money. You say, well, I budgeted for that. Our money's still tight. Is it? Is it? Or did you say that phrase to get out of something where you couldn't just say no? If we were completely honest, we would have just said no. Instead of saying, oh, our money's just tight. We might tell a friend, oh, I have to ask my husband before I can get a massage. Sign up for a class, invest in an experience, go out. Oh, I have to ask my husband. When we know the answer ourselves, if we just allowed ourselves that power, like if we were just honest, we know what the answer is and we know why. But we don't allow ourselves that power because of fear. Many women abuse their spouse by using them as a scapegoat for your agency when you've been judging your own worth and value. We might say we never get good sleep, but when the right opportunity comes, all of a sudden we have energy. What? These kinds of patterns, my friend, build deep seeds of self-mistrust. And deep self-mistrust then says, I don't know who I am and I don't know what I want. You've been not being honest with yourself for a long time when you have lived in fear and scarcity. And it's affected your worth, thoughts of your worth and your value. So how do you get out of this mode of getting unstuck? Marcy, have your husband watch the replay if you feel like this is something you can watch together. But I will tell you, a lot of the times when we think someone else needs to know this, it's reflecting back to us something we need to know. So keep that in mind. So how do you get unstuck? You got to build your self-trust back, you guys. Get honest, like really taking your power back. One of the ways you can do that is by getting really clear on what you really want and be honest, like, what do I really want? And this can be so uncomfortable. I have so much empathy for that. It can feel so uncomfortable to say, I really just want. What is it that you really want? And lean into the spirit with that. Sit in spirit, pray, and really think about your soul self. What's the experience I really want while I'm here in mortality? What is it that I really love to experience? Is that a healthier body? Is that running a 5K and going across that finish line with your kids cheering for you? Is that making $100,000 in a business you built from scratch? Is that selling artwork? Is it singing on stage Like, what is that experience you really want that your soul is like, man, we came here to do this? Sit in spirit, get really clear on what you want, and then do the thing you do when you make goals. Go act in faith. Say, this is what I want. This is what I see can be true for me, and act on it. Start taking actions. Making decisions for yourself, my friend, is magic. Magic. Getting clarity is magic. If we aren't crystal clear on what it is we're doing, it is easy to get distracted. It is so easy to get self-doubt just dropping in if we aren't crystal clear and living in faith. So if you're stuck and you've put your faith in your fears, you've given power away to your husband or your mom or your kids, get clear on what you want, then start acting in faith and be honest. Really, really honest. Really honest. When you say something, say, is this? If I wasn't here to say this, like, would this matter? Like, really start being aware of what's happening there. That was point 2. Last point. So you've stopped judging yourself. You're getting clear. You're acting for yourself. You're rebuilding self-trust. This last little piece is trusting God. Okay? Far too often we get going on a goal and we create, maybe even before you get going on the goal, but you've created this very narrow scope of how it's going to be. I'm going to feel this way. It's going to look this way. I'm even going to wear that outfit. And my husband's going to respond to me like this. And I'm going to feel this. And my kids, like, we create this story that is very narrow. So when you do that, you say it has to be this way and it's going to look this way and it's going to feel this way. You have cut God out of your equation. Just by creating how it has to be, to like, we write these stories that are so narrow. Yes, we want to make a plan with faith. You want to have a plan. You got to start going. But allow for expansion on both sides. Allow for expansion on both sides. God wants to work miracles in your life. And so many of us shut that option out without consciously realizing it. We get to learn how to allow some ebb and flow. When you feel that thing that's uncomfortable, when you maybe ate salad for 3 days in a row for the first time, and you might have different bowel movements and you might be experiencing new, instead of throwing it out, you go, oh, this is new. God already created my success. So where is my comfort here? What can I do? Do I need an accountability group for this? Do I need a coach for that? Maybe I just need to go and snuggle up in my blanket for a minute. Maybe I could pray and ask God why this is showing up. What am I learning from this? Move into curiosity deeply. Okay? Because when you feel that new, don't judge it. Look at it and think, oh, God created this experience. It's for my good. I'll be closer to my dreams if I take this in and learn from it. Every time you do that, you're going to build trust in you and trust with God. And then living by faith in the positive toward your goals eventually becomes the way you just live. I can testify of this, and I have multiple witnesses. God is all powerful. I mean, that's a pretty great partnership. Why do things all on our own when we could link arms with the most powerful being that created all of this? Say, I know my success is certain. You already created it. Show me. And then be willing to see it. Be willing to choose it. It's so awesome. It is so awesome to rebuild that trust with God, live in that little bit of flow, use curiosity when fear comes up. And I have done videos in this group on all of these topics, by the way. I have done a video on victim mentality. I have done a video on scarcity. I have done a video on living in faith. I have done a video on curiosity with fear. Search these topics, use the search bar if you need expansion on one of these. And so I said, this particular class is like, might be like a fire hose, you know, that's okay. Come back and watch it another time. Come back and watch another time. So how do you actually do this then? How do you actually get clear, recognize where you're judging, recognize how that if you're putting faith in fear or not? How do you keep track of your patterns? How do you create goals with spirit? Who knows the answer? Amy and Jackie do. The Elevated Mother Experience program is an opportunity for you to be in proximity of other moms that are doing this in real time. I have created a whole vault that goes through all of these skills. We've got a workbook that helps you to track your patterns so that no more will you find yourself the same mom, the same wife, the same finances ever again. Ever. You cannot unknow what you will learn in this program. So if you would like to consider a new way of being and moving through the world, this program will lay it out for you. It will help. And what's awesome is it's all downloadable. You can print out the stuff as often as you need it. Your husband can watch the videos. Your husband can look at your workbook if that's something that's important to you. Okay? That's what I have for you guys today. A lot of stuff. Go back and watch it again. Have an incredible weekend. I hope you're all having some fall fun with your family. Ooh, fall fun with the family. Say that 7 times fast. I love teaching this class. I love this material. I love living in faith with God as my partner. And it has totally shifted everything. So it's possible for you too. I say that with 1,000,000,000% confidence. All right. Have a good weekend. Love you all.